But we were very fortunate to get a statement from the film director, who could not be here. In case you don't know, many Americans have never heard of him. He's Polish, well known in Europe apparently, 83 years old. And he made this film at this time of his life. I think he had something he wanted to say all his life. Anyway, this is a statement from Jerzy Skolimowski. He says, "We are so touched that EO has won the 2022 Zelda Penzel Giving Voice to the Voiceless Award. We made this film out of pure love for animals. We hope that EO inspires audiences to have more compassion for animals and gives viewers the urgent reminder that animals teach us how to be human, and we'd be lost without them. Thank you to the Hamptons International Film Festival for recognizing EO." And so now I want to say good evening and thank you all for coming. I could not be more pleased and happy than to see all of you here. I would like to welcome you to the 10th anniversary celebration of animal rights in film here at the Hamptons International Film Festival. I presented my very first Giving Voice to the Voiceless Award in 2012. And subsequently, as the social justice movement of our time continued to grow and gain momentum, just 3 years later, went on to create the present Compassion, Justice, and Animal Rights Signature Program, a unique program in the world of film festivals. I feel so very indebted to HIF's executive director, Anne Jason, who had the courage and wisdom to see the importance of a complex movement based on consciousness raising, compassion, and opening hearts and minds. A movement that is perhaps among the most challenged, much as it was with the movement to end slavery, for it was woven into the very fabric of everyday life. For millennia, societies have been built around the exploitative activities and enterprises that affect the treatment and fate of billions of sentient animals each day. It is undoubtedly a movement affecting more individuals than any other social justice movement in history. We are therefore exceedingly fortunate to have had some really fine and important animal rights films over the years. One of them was by a film director who's here right now, Chris Hedges, Unlocking the Cage a few years back. That won our award then. Thank you so much. And I was saying about important films over the years, and for that, I'm most grateful to David Nugent, the HIF artistic director who scours the latest and best film offerings at film festivals, from Toronto to Sundance to Cannes, where he discovered EO, which went on to win the important jury prize. So with this gem of a film that you've all seen, and which is the subject of our discussion, I asked you to consider, who is EO and why does it matter? Rats show kindness. Orcas mourn their dead. Monkeys protest injustice. And some donkeys love music. You can check that out on YouTube. Scientists are learning that other species also have complex emotions, and many have much more in common with humans than previously thought. This is a weighty realization. If you recognize emotions in animals, says ethologist Frans de Waal, then they become morally relevant. They are not the same as rocks. They are sentient beings. Their lives matter. As you have seen, and I quote from a recent film review after EO premiered in Cannes, Polish director Jerzy Skolimowski said his latest film, EO, is meant to raise awareness against animal exploitation. But while EO gives us a lot to think about, it poses no solutions, simply allowing EO to stand on his own four legs. He is a provocative symbol of how we treat the fellow creatures of our world. In this sense, Skolimowski may tell EO's story, but he refuses to give him a voice, a deliberate choice that highlights the futility of his plight. EO's fate is therefore in our hands. It's up to us what we do with it, because we have choices, but they don't. Through the eyes of donkey EO, the film explores human mistreatment of animals in nature. I'm quoting now, "I would like this film to reach as many people's hearts and minds as possible. Let my donkey speak to you from the screen. Look into his eyes," Skolimowski said in a video message to the Cannes audience. "I protest against the industrial breeding of animals for meat, and I protest against breeding animals for fur," he added. EO is a donkey with sad eyes. He meets good and bad people in his life and experiences luck, bliss, and despair. Through it all, he never loses his innocence. The film is a tribute to Au hasard Balthazar, a 1966 film by Robert Bresson, a movie about a donkey who is given to different owners who mistreat him. And in an interview in 2010, Skolimowski said that Au hasard Balthazar was the most important film for him because it's the only one that really moved me, that touched me deeply. And EO touched me deeply as well. For EO is every animal, every voiceless creature who shares this planet with us, because even the most admired, the most coddled, the most beloved are also exploited, cruelly abused, used for research, held captive for entertainment in circuses and zoos, deprived of everything natural to them in factory farms, and slaughtered for food, clothing, vain adornment, and trinkets. Senselessly killed for hunting, drugged and abused and dying for racing and other sports, exploited for personal profit and self-gratification. When all is said and done, these billions of poor creatures remain voiceless beings who are victims of our indifference, our ignorance, and our greed. So for these reasons and more, EO has won a place in my heart, and I am pleased to award this poignant and meaningful film the 2022 Zelda Penzel Giving Voice to the Voiceless Award.